It's the DNP Project Podcast with your hosts, Dr. Molly Bradshaw and Dr. Tracy Vitale.
Welcome to the DNP Project Podcast, where we share tips, inspiration, and more. In this episode, we're doing a book review, and it's on the book called Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. A little bit about this work. So the word figureoutable, what a word, right? And it's certainly a word that I think should be in the vocabulary of DNP students that are working on their projects. And if you're needing a dose of motivation, inspiration, I think this book can deliver. It was written by Marie Forleo, which is from Marie TV. If you follow Marie TV, she has lots of other projects and things that she's done, but this work was released in 2019. And in the book, she explains the background to her magic superpower word, figureoutable. And she shares story after story that demonstrates its application in life, in love, and in work. And I'm going to go through a few of my favorite stories from the book and connect it to the qualities that we want to see in DNP scholars. It's a great non-school book if you're feeling a little bit low or discouraged. So let's get started. So first, the origin of the word figureoutable. In the very first section of the book, she explains that in the pre-internet days, when she was growing up, she always admired her mother, who was able to really just do anything. She could fix anything, she could make anything. And remember, this was all before times when we could just Google something. And she asked her mom one day, like, how do you know how to do that? And her mom replies, Marie, everything is figureoutable. And the word has just kind of stuck and come forward in an inspiration of her work. I really like in this book too how she uses story to tell stories. She tells a story about some women in Africa that basically peaceably protested and basically stopped a war through peaceable protest. She has a real description of this spirit of problem solving, like there was a problem and she felt overwhelmed. And then she was able to say, I can figure it out. It's figureoutable. So you'll really enjoy some of those stories too. There's a lot of discussion of her career trajectory and how she started out and kind of had a vision to be a business owner. And she had lots of great opportunities to make money, but it wasn't really the trajectory that she wanted her career to go. So she started doing other things, and interestingly had this passion to become a dancer, but didn't really have formal training. She was a little bit older by standards of being a dancer. So actually she started taking classes at her gym in like aerobic dance. And then she got certified to teach aerobic dance. And she goes on to explain that that kind of became a passion. She was good at it. It fit her purpose. It was very fulfilling. But what she didn't know, and I love this, is that she was preparing herself for a career that did not exist yet. So think about us as DNPs, these skills that we have, all of your life experience and your passions poured into the idea that maybe right now in your DNP program or just in general, maybe your skills are training you for a job that does not exist yet. And she explains the way that this kind of came full fold for her was she got an opportunity basically to be part of an initiative from an athletic company that was looking for people to do aerobic instructions to promote their product. And that's a project that she was able to get on because she had the right skill set. And her skills were really self-developed because aerobic dance and dance in general was just a passion of hers. So why can't we do that? Why can't a DNP student do that? And we can do it. And it's a great story. You'll enjoy that story in the book. But it's just a perfect description of if you have skills, there will always be projects that come up. There's going to be projects that come up that we don't even know about yet. But you want to have the skills to just say, this is figureoutable and we can figure it out. Another great story that I love in the book, it kind of has the theme of like going the extra mile. And it had to do with, there was this piece of real estate that she really wanted to lease, but it by the time she made her offer. There was an offer that had already been put in and been accepted. So she wrote a letter to the landlord and said, I would really like this piece of property. Here's what I'm going to do with it. Here's all the things that I need to know. And she submitted the letter, and lo and behold, the landlord changed their mind. But that extra effort, she didn't just accept that offer. She respectfully and creatively and presented proof, evidence, concept, a business plan of what she was going to do, and it pleased the landlords, and they were able to offer her the lease. So the idea that going the extra mile to get the projects done that you want to get done is really, really important. But again, really good with strong use of story. You won't get bored with this book in the car. You know how sometimes you listen to books in the car, and if they're really factual kind of books, you kind of feel like you're nodding off and going to sleep. This is very entertaining because of the way that she's using story. So I put the link to this book, and well, really all the products, whether you want hard copy, audio, Kindle, whatever your preference is. I put the link to all of her products in Amazon. And again, when you're just looking for that little bit of, pump me up, I need an inspirational story, it's a great book to listen to while you're going for a walk, but you're going to enjoy Everything is Figureoutable. As a DNP scholar, I hope that you have the same attitude, that whatever your DNP project problem is about, or whatever your challenge is personally, that you can figure it out. You're smart. I always say that nurses are scrappy. We can figure it out. So get this book, get inspired, and go out there and figure it out.
You've been listening to Dr. Molly Bradshaw and Dr. Tracy Vitale on the DNP Project Podcast. Check out the DNP Project YouTube channel at DNP Success on YouTube.